Hello, this is WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, and you are listening to the WNS podcast. Yeah.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now, being broadcast in over 30 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Hebert, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 135 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, is at WNS Podcast, for the main site, WN Source.
Please go check us out on Stitcher. Give us a thumbs up or whatever ranking they have available.
We stitched that up.
We'd appreciate it.
There you go. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. Going to be getting one step closer to SummerSlam. Still talking about the ongoing feud between...
One step closer to 136.
136, yeah. We're 1 week closer to that. For some reason that's relevant to you. What's going on? What's up with the 136? Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the show. Like I said, we're going to have a lot to talk about. First, we're going to cover some feedback that we had from last week's show. We're going to talk about some feedback from the Total Divas segment featuring Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug on that one. But the first feedback's coming from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying, you should definitely continue doing Total Divas with Tyler and Doug. I only hope that in the next installment, Tyler will allow Doug to get a few words in this time. So
Wilson got jokes.
Then thank you for that feedback. Next one is coming to us from our good buddy John from Nightmare Pro Wrestling, saying,
right.
I really dug, spelled D-O-U-G, the Total Divas segment.
See what you did there.
Next one is from
Thank
Nathan.
you, John.
Next one's from Nathan, saying, since Stitcher still doesn't seem to have a comment section, I'll just leave it here. Gave it a thumbs up. Thanks for that, first off.
Thank you.
I say keep the Divas show recap coming. I enjoyed hearing about it. And eventually I may check out the show or check the show out once it hits Hulu. I assume it will because all the WWE shows so far are there. I would find it interesting in just seeing the WWE superstars behind the scenes. Another good show, and I look forward to it next week. Or
Thank
I
you,
look forward to
Nathan.
next week's. So thank you very much for that, Nathan. Next one is from Christine, saying, just finished listening, and I have to say that Doug's Total Divas review has piqued my interest in the show. After that Miz TV segment poisoned my soul, I decided not to watch it. But now, maybe I'll catch the next one. Doug, I really dig you, but you lost a few points with the Big Bang Theory bashing. I think that show is great. Do you need someone to sing Soft Kitty to you?
Christine?
Yes, Christine.
I believe it's the first time commenter or something. I don't recall ever hearing from her. I believe, maybe. Well, first off, Christine, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for soldiering through my segment, Total Divas. I'm glad that you got some enjoyment out of it, and I appreciate that. Thanks for digging me. That's cool. That's appreciated. And I am sorry about the Big Bang Theory. Mostly I'm sorry that I had to be the one to break it to you. But it's better that you hear it from me on some podcast in your earbuds than, have to encounter someone in the real world to tell you this. So you're coming out ahead here. And I have no fucking clue what Soft Kitty is or whatever
It's a song from the show. I think that's like the one episode that I actually have watched of the Big Bang Theory is when one of the main characters gets sick and he wants his mom to sing, or he wants his roommate to sing a song that his mom used to sing called Soft Kitty. And it was like, soft kitty, pretty kitty, little ball of fur, soft kitty, happy kitty, purr, 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 or something like that.
Oh, well, Daniel just sung it to me, apparently.
So there you go. I've probably messed it up, but there you go. But we do appreciate that. Our final feedback,
Thanks, Christine.
Our final feedback is from Vincent from YouTube saying, I could not agree more about Big Bang Theory.
Hey, look, look. I'm just saying.
So there are people on your side with this. So you're not alone in the world, apparently. So fear not.
I feel the same way, like I already mentioned last week. The same level. Big Bang Theory is on the same level as How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I never got into either of those shows.
Yeah,
so.
me either.
So there you go. We certainly do appreciate the feedback, and as many of y'all have stated that y'all enjoyed it, we will be having Total Diva segment on this week's show as well. Yay!
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a much more streamlined version, but we're gonna continue it.
Sort of the Cliff Notes.
I mean, it was just kind of pointed out to me that I said every little thing that happened on the show, and maybe we don't necessarily need to do that. If they want it to that extent, they can go and watch it. Okay. So we're gonna try and streamline it a bit.
Or we can have like a special segment that we would like only put on YouTube or something for Doug's Total Divas thought.
Well, I'm not gonna do like 2 versions of it.
Okay.
That's too much work.
All right. Well, hey, I'm just throwing it out there. So there you go. But yeah, so we're getting one step closer to SummerSlam, 1 week closer. We kick things off with Daniel Bryan's corporate makeover. So Stephanie McMahon was very happy about this. We started off with a video package with Daniel Bryan at the spa, getting the face cream put on him and the cucumbers over his eyes, and I gotta admit, I thought that was pretty funny. Doug, what about you?
The video package, yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, and then he comes out wearing a suit, hair slicked back, and in a ponytail and all that. You know, looking fancy. Basically saying, this is what they want, but this is not, who I am.
What caused that? Like, why
they're basically
in the corporate?
They said they were going to do it last week.
Yeah, they mentioned it in a backstage segment because they don't see Daniel Bryan as championship material, and
Vince doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
And suddenly
Maddox.
Triple H is all.
Maddox doesn't either because he's scared of Vince.
Yeah. So, but Triple H apparently is 100% behind Daniel Bryan and thinks he could be champion, no problems. But it's just the whole storyline has gotten ridiculous with the McMahons, and I'm really looking forward to see it end. But yeah, I felt the speech that he gave, was really good. He was talking about, he's a wrestler, he's not an entertainer. Daniel Bryan's a wrestler, John Cena's an entertainer. I could get fired tomorrow, but I'm still going to be doing this because I'm a wrestler. This is what I love. I'll wrestle at any gymnasium, auditorium,
that's cool,
wherever. Whereas if Cena, were to get fired, he'd just go home. He would never wrestle again. And I thought, it's interesting where they're taking this angle, because it's two faces going up against each other. And it's just, I feel like it's, I feel like the chemistry between Cena and Bryan is good enough that we don't need all these outside distractions. We don't need the McMahons. We don't need Orton. We don't need Maddox. Just let these two build on what they need to do. But, McMahon came in to insert his authority saying, well, if you want to be champion, you got to shave your beard, and just happened to have just the man to do it, and it'd be Wade Barrett, and
which that's random.
It was very random. But Bryan outsmarted him by saying, well, if you could just save this one little spot right here, just save that spot. And
bare knuckle shaver.
Yeah. And he ends up headbutting Wade Barrett and shaving part of his beard off, revealing a shirt saying the beard is here. So Doug, what did you think about this whole segment?
Well, I gotta disagree with you guys because I really didn't love this. I think what they tried to accomplish here was, for a while now, Bryan has been known as the yes guy, the no guy, the hug guy, and that's been fine and that's been entertaining. But I think they wanted him to be a little something more for this feud, which is logical, and I think he would need to be as well. So it's almost like they were almost like reestablishing his character or giving him some more definition or, just more to him than what he's been known as. And it seems to be like they tried, the story that they want to tell is that of Bryan as how do I word this? Kind of like Bryan is more of like a folk hero, and like and Cena is more like like the super like Cena's the man, and Bryan's like the grassroots like folk hero guy, and I think that's great, and I think that's an interesting story for one, and I think it's something I buy into, but I don't buy into it blindly, and I say that as a huge Bryan fan, and I think first of all, I think it's way too close in shade to the promo work Punk was doing with Cena just a few years ago. I think it's way too close in tone to that. I don't think it stood on its own enough. And another thing is he made a lot of excellent points, and it's cool that people got excited that he said he was a wrestler, because he is, and you can never take that away from him. And there was validity to everything he said, but one of the things he brought up was, yes, he's a wrestler and Cena's an entertainer, but Cena's, there to sell you stuff that you don't need. And that's fine. Like, I got no problems with him saying that. Although, on the flip side, I have very much Daniel Bryan merchandise that I don't ever need. And now I'm not even talking about mainstream, like, shirts and stuff. I've got, like, really weird and random stuff. I don't need to get into all that. I'm not trying. I mean, that's not my point. But my point is that at the end of the segment, when he debuts a new T-shirt after that's a glaring error on my part. And I don't know if that's Bryan, who had artistic reign over what he was saying. I don't know if that promo was written for him. I don't know if he was told to hit the notes and that was included in it. But what you do when you do something like that is you contradicted a character that you just built or are trying to build at that very moment, because it was all new characteristics that he hadn't had, or at least hadn't had in a long time. And you basically contradicted it on a very base level. Like folk hero versus the corporate guy. Fuck yeah, I buy into that. I buy in, I hook, line, and sinker, I buy into Daniel Bryan as the folk hero. Yes, take my fucking money. I buy it, but you cannot contradict that within minutes of establishing it. And that's a glaring problem for me. I think that was a huge oversight. And, look, there's not a bigger Daniel Bryan fan than me. I was watching the latest Smart Mark comp of Bryan matches from WXW in Germany before I left my house to do this podcast. Nobody's a bigger Bryan Mark than I am, but you can't do that. It doesn't work for me. I think way too many people are way too excited just because he said the word wrestling. I mean, that's like, come on, guys. Are you that easy to be bought over because he said he's a wrestler and Bryan and Cena's an entertainer? Come on, don't be that easy. Look, I mean, that's cool to get excited about, and there's some validity to it. And goddamn, I can't stress enough how no one loves Bryan more than I do. But you can't be that blindly buying into what they say. I mean, they've got to follow through, at least in the same segment they establish it in.
Yeah.
So it's a big problem for me. I really didn't love this. I really, really didn't, and I wanted to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I kind of scatterbrained about it, but
basically the way that they were, Dana Bryan saying, "Oh, Cena's here just to push merch," and then at the end of the segment, he busts out a new shirt. Hey,
here's the new merch.
New shirt, which that kind of shirt that bothers me. The champ is here and the beard is here. That stuff is kind of bothers me because it's sloppy. It's someone the guy from Wrestling Memes, the Facebook page. He was like, "Oh, I made this on Microsoft Paint in like 10 minutes." Like, he did a copy of it. So it's like they're trying to just cash in on something. And, like, take your time on doing this. And it's just
well, I mean, the quality of the merch really isn't what I'm questioning.
Yeah.
It's more of like the quality of the segment.
Yeah.
And the quality of the character they're giving Bryan for this. I mean, he's got to be more than he has been.
Mm-hmm.
And they've noticed that, and they took some steps to correct it, although I think they, like, kneecapped themselves in the same segment. As far as the quality of the merch, like, if that was the shirt, like, that was a fresh shirt, like, that would bother me a lot. I don't mind the self-referential shirts. I know Punk did it with Rock, and, like, that stuff doesn't bother me as much. I'm not a big fan of, like, what I consider to be stupid sayings on t-shirts, and but I think like that's passable just because it's so self-referential to their feud. I don't know, like I think it rang false and it fell flat for me. I don't know who's to blame. I mean, again, but
Honestly, I would probably put the blames on McMahon. This whole storyline that's revolving around that. If they would focus on Daniel Bryan versus John Cena at SummerSlam, then it would. I think the story would tell itself, as opposed to, oh, he's not a corporate guy. He's not the face of our company. It was like, like that's fine if they want to have backstage segments with them talking about it, but don't interject yourself into the feud.
See, I don't think McMahon involving himself in the feud is a problem. I think that is, in a way, giving Bryan the biggest stroke he can get out of anybody in the company. Because McMahon can give a guy... that sounds kind of... I was going to say...
I'm going to give you a rub down.
McMahon can give a guy a certain kind of stroke that no one else in the company can give him. And I know that sounds however it sounds, but, I
Dirty
mean...
thoughts.
Yeah, I mean that, though, I mean, no one can give, a guy the rub that Vince can, and by talking shit on him, he's giving him the rub. And I mean, I don't think that's the problem. I think it's like attention to detail. And I'm a huge Bryan fan. Like, I can't stress that enough. But I gotta, on some level, hold him accountable too. I'm not gonna pass the buck. I'm gonna say that if Bryan can be in shouting matches with Triple H backstage, then he should have known enough to not make that comment or to tell whoever wrote it that it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
I gotta put some blame on Bryan just because I hate when people blindly hate things and they blindly praise things. Just like everyone blindly praised this because he said he's a wrestler and Cena's an entertainer. Come on, don't be that easy, people. Are you that easy?
I think just because they feel that, the WWE itself has tried to remove the word wrestler and then put sports entertainment. So they're finding that to be sort of, oh man, he's rebelling. He's saying the taboo word that they don't want to say anymore.
Well, yeah. And I mean, in a sense, I can understand, but I just think like, just because you say that doesn't make what happened good.
Yeah.
And it kills like a part of my soul, like honestly, to say that. I didn't love this, but I didn't love it. I mean, I'm not going to come over here and lie and like make bullshit up about, even though I'm a huge fan of the guy. It just wasn't up to snuff. I don't know what percentage was his fault, but he's got to assume some blame in it. Okay. And I didn't love it. Yeah, I wish I did.
So whoever came up with that, whoever had the final say in that talking point.
Yeah, I know that seems like nitpicking,
whether it be like a writer, Mr. McMahon, or Daniel Bryan, whoever.
All three. I mean,
whoever said, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Bryan didn't go say, "Hey, this is my new shirt, and I want to debut it tonight." But he's a smart enough guy, and I hold him to a certain level that I would assume that that's a line he's going to skip if they're going to debut that shirt.
What they have on the back was that ring.
Just yes
equals yes.
They didn't have that symbol that usually has on shirts. I probably should tell you something there.
Yeah.
Like I know that seems like a nitpick, but like if you're going to do this ethics and like means something, and not being a hypocrite means something, especially means a lot if you're going to go with he's a folk hero like kind of vibe. Like that's important, and that's why I think it's such a big thing. That's a huge misstep if that's the angle you want to run with.
Yeah.
And I know they didn't call him a quote unquote folk hero, but that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, with him being the hottest thing going in the WWE right now, you kind of have to just let that one flow naturally, and I don't know. It was weird. But so that takes us into the end of the first match. RVD versus Alberto Del Rio. We got to see the return of Ricardo Rodriguez.
This is the second time, huh?
That they faced each other? Yeah, they faced each other at SmackDown not too long ago. But yeah, so this match was kind of short. I don't know. I wasn't really into it. Ricardo tried to set up the bucket that he brings out in the corner, and it backfired on Alberto, allowing RVD to capitalize and get the victory. What did you guys think of the matchup itself?
I mean, it wasn't much of anything.
Yeah, it was kind of just to progress the story for what happened after the match, which was Alberto Del Rio attacking Ricardo Rodriguez, throwing him outside the ring, setting him up behind the stairs, and drop kicking the stairs.
Yeah, I said this a while back. I agree with Doug what he said a while back, that I know you don't care for RVD or what's going on. You know, they're just bringing him back just to have him in matches. They don't have. I know. I said they're just they're not really doing nothing, just having matches with them. But like I said, I just don't care.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird to see what they're gonna do with him, because the only thing he's done.
How long has he's been? It's less than a month, huh? No, how long has he been back?
Yeah, about that time. Yeah. He'll show up on Raw, have a match with someone, go to SmackDown, have a match with someone, show back up on Raw, have a match with someone. So,
which I mean, that's fun too, I guess. But
yeah,
I expect him to bring him back and I guess help younger talent or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they really just slotted him into the Jericho role.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I find more interesting than this match. I find that every wrestler that had a second or a corner man or a corner woman is now not have them. If this is to be believed, I know there's a lot of talk. If it seems like they're going to get him set up to get in Christian's corner, only to turn on him in the end at the title match. I know a lot of people are throwing that around, and that seems plausible. Because it seems weird and out of nowhere that he just came back today, and then they run with that.
Yeah.
But I find it weird that at least for now he's gone. Ziggler broke free of Big E and AJ, even though they're feuding, and I don't know. I know there's some other Heyman and Punk split, and I guess really Coulter is the only guy who's kind of still hanging around the people he was with as a second.
And Heyman with Axel, but
yeah, that's kind of established more recently, though.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's curious to see where they're going to take Del Rio and Ricardo. If they're going to have that where Ricardo gets on Christian's side and then betrays him, or if he just stays on his side and then goes the face route or something. Who knows? Maybe he'll cost Del Rio the matchup at SummerSlam. Who knows? But next up, we got to see a segment with Cody Rhodes where we get the recap of what's been happening between he and Damian Sandow. I felt the video package was really good, even though it had that hokey segment that they did at the Gulf of Mexico. But I felt the video package did a lot more than the segment that they had in the ring, where Cody had the briefcase and it had a bunch of seaweed on it, and just the contract was all messed up from water damage and all that. And then Cody Rhodes ends up attacking Damian Sandow in the center of the ring as Damian was trying to go for the briefcase. I felt like that video package did a better job than this segment. How about you?
I mean, I disagree. I'm not liking really anything these guys are doing. I don't like that it seems to be they're going to have a match for the contract. It seems to be that's what they're probably building towards. Like, if that's what you're going to do, like, have Cody win the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
You can still create friction with them over him winning and Sandow not. If that's what they're in fact doing, I mean, we're not 100% sure, but it seems to be what they're building towards.
They've done that before, so.
I mean, I have a huge problem with that.
That is pretty stupid.
It would be stupid for anyone to agree to put their Money in the Bank shot on the line. Anyone would be stupid for. Cena, it kind of works for because he's supposed to be that kind of guy. But Sandow would be a complete moron.
Mm-hmm.
And all Cody did was take it from him. So what grounds does he have to demand a shot over it?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Like, if you wanted Cody to have the contract, have him win the fucking match. That he can still feud with Sandow afterwards.
They're gonna feud so long that it will be the first contract not cashed in. Every attempt that someone tries to cash it in will be foiled by the other person, and then eventually the contract will just expire. There you go. I've solved your problem for you. Year-long feud gone to waste. So, yeah, next up we got to see Mark Henry going up against Ryback.
Boss fight?
This one ended up in a count out after Ryback decided, well, Mark Henry's starting to get some offense in, so I'm going to head on out after, they're trying to portray him as, oh, now he's a bully. He's just throwing his weight around. And I don't know. It's just, I don't really know what they're doing with Ryback right now.
I don't know, and I don't care.
Don't care for Tyler.
I don't know. I've never been impressed. The only time I was impressed with him was when he was in Nexus.
Mm-hmm. As Skip Sheffield.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't care for that character that much. It was kind of funny, but
yeah. How about you, Doug?
I mean, the match was literally nothing to speak of because it was extremely short. I mean, I'm not particularly interested in what they're doing with, Ryback, but I mean, it's just kind of like out of sight, out of mind with me. Like I don't even think about it. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what they're doing with them. I don't think they know what they're doing with them.
Yeah.
it's sad to see, though, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because came in looking pretty strong, I feel, and just didn't.
Fell flat.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the problem when you try and book a monster as
because
unbeatable.
That dude, I know he needs to work on a little more things, but, if you're going to debut him, or not debut him, but, it would be a big thing, just I hope, he succeeds, but
yeah,
doesn't seem like he's going.
Well, they bring him in as a monster. He can't be beaten. He's unstoppable. And then
I felt that, you feel that. You felt that when he came in like that.
And then he loses a match by disqualification. And then he loses a match by outside interference. And then he loses, and then he loses, and then he loses, and then he loses. So it's like, well, this unstoppable beast monster guy is falling flat. So I don't know. Anyways, what else?
So can people please stop chanting Goldberg then?
Nope.
Now they do it just to spite him. I don't know.
They don't do it to spite him. They do it because people don't think. They do it for the same reason they lose their mind just because somebody says wrestler on TV. Like, it was applicable to Ryback whenever he was a guy who was destroying no-names constantly. But it's been a long time. Not only has it been a long time since that's happened, he's lost way more than often than he's won. He's lost consistently to everyone he's feuded with. Punk, Cena, anybody else. Henry beat him. Shield beat him. He's not Goldberg. He's not even comparable in the slightest. Like, nothing about him is anything close to Goldberg. People just chant it because they're dumb, mindless sheep.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, next up, we got to see a backstage segment with the Total Divas, and Natalya slapped one of the Bellas. And then we got to see...
They deserve it.
Yeah. They aren't too kind when they're on TV.
Okay, we have firmly established with this backstage that Total Divas is Earth 2 WWE Universe. And completely separate reality.
It is.
Apparently, because
Eva Marie is not cool with the Bellas and Total Divas. Let me just tell you. So Total Divas, Thomas Lawson and Red Robin know what we're talking about. Total Divas, guys, is Earth 2. Okay?
There you go. We're living alternate universes now. So, but we'll get into Total Divas a little bit more in the show. Next up, we got to see John Cena come out and respond to the comments made by Daniel Bryan. And honestly, I felt like Cena did a great job on the mic. He wasn't hokey. He made it seem like, Daniel Bryan's a legit threat. We've seen him do good promo work before, and I felt like this was definitely one of those nights where he did good stuff.
What else did he say?
I don't remember, but I just remember me enjoying it, not disapproving of it. How about you, Doug?
I thought it was strong for the most part. I liked what he had to say, except for when he tried to kind of paint himself as an underdog and part of it. That's where I roll my eyes. It was strong until he did that. And, you can't paint yourself as an underdog. You just can't. Maybe with Mark Henry, you can do that kind of stuff, but you just can't. It's not believable. I don't buy that you're an underdog in this situation. I don't care just because people are booing you doesn't make you the underdog. It just makes you unliked. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make you less favorite to win or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I saw, it's just not believable. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I didn't have nearly as many problems with it, though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Yeah, not too bad. And then Randy Orton comes out and says, well, you might not even make it to SummerSlam as champion, or, whoever wins, I might be the champion, blah, 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 because, I'm going to be the next champion. And then the Shield come out and get ready to attack, and then Daniel Bryan comes in to make the save, and then hold up a minute, playa. Brad Maddox comes out and makes a 6-man tag match. Yeah, you thought it was going to be Teddy Long, didn't you?
That wouldn't make any sense.
Huh?
That wouldn't make any
Teddy
sense.
got fired, playa.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make any
Did he get
sense.
fired or did he leave?
Well, she
Or
told
he got
him
escorted out.
he said he could walk out on his own. She was
Yeah.
like,
He
security.
just walk out like this.
Skips out. All the way out. So yeah. So we got to see, 6-man tag match for the main event. Now, next up, we got to see the Wyatt family come out. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper going up against Tons of Funk.
They do the entrance.
They did. And what I liked about this one, we talked about it last week, is like, how long can they do this before their opponents realize, oh, we better get out of here. When the lights came on, Tons of Funk were on the outside apron, and one of them, I forget which one is which.
Luke Harper is the dark-haired dude with some
Okay.
hair,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Eric Rowan is the
Redhead.
bald guy with the
Okay.
red beard.
So Rowan was in the ring, just facing the corner, and Harper was on the outside apron. So it's like, okay, the lights come on, we're ready for our match. So, and I like that. I feel that it makes it work. If they're not gonna jump, they're just gonna say, okay, we're ready to go. And they made quick work of Tons of Funk in this matchup. Things broke down really quickly, and
How Luke Harper's did that big boot?
Well, what's weird about it is he did it like not as a finishing move or not as like a signature spot. He just kind of did it in the match, and they focused on it. But he set up for the corner one, which is like exceptionally nasty, and they like didn't catch it on the camera. It almost seems as if they like panned away on purpose, which is he's using like a discus lariat like as a finish. It seems, or I've seen him do it at least multiple times. They seem to be shying away from like using the big boot, which he has like the nastiest big boot in wrestling. So you would think he would use that as a finish. This match was cool. It was short and sweet.
yeah,
Just big burly dudes like hitting each other pretty hard, which is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Eric Rowan hit like some really like nasty looking headbutt. I think he caught Brodus like right in the nose with it. It looked. I rewound it and like watched it again. It looked pretty gnarly. So yeah, it was a cool short match. I don't know that I've ever said or mentioned it on the podcast before, but props to Tons of Funk for the YoMTV rap singlets, because those are cool. I like this.
So, but yeah, the match, like Doug said, short and sweet. Just a bunch of big guys just duking it out. Rowan and Harper end up getting the victory, and then Bray Wyatt gets in the ring, calls out Kane again, asking for the buzzards, and they do the little, glitch thing where the camera, and then it normally goes to commercial, but instead it cuts to Kane backstage, and the pyro goes off, and he responds by basically issuing a challenge for Bray Wyatt for SummerSlam.
Then you can see me and see no evil too.
No, they're set up for an Inferno match, dog.
Yeah,
I know. I just wanted to mention that because there's gonna be a see no evil too.
That does bring up an interesting question. Do you think it's going to be an actual Inferno match, or was he just sort of saying, "Oh, the ring will be on fire," by meaning my pyro is going to go off on the corners?
I don't know.
Because it's got a lot of people talking about it.
I mean, let's be honest. Like the Inferno match was not that great. I don't think it's
No.
It's not a good re-debut match for Wyatt. I kind of hope they don't do it, to be honest.
Bray Wyatt gets the victory, burns off all of Kane's hair, so that way he'll be bald for See No Evil too.
Well, they may
It works.
they may actually do the Inferno match as a way to write Kane off TV for a while. Yeah, the match was cool, and The subsequent stuff from the Wyatt family was good stuff, but Kane's promo was weak sauce, and
someone mentioned that they cut to Kane early, talking backstage and like eating a chip or something.
I didn't see that.
I didn't either. But I saw someone make that comment. But
I watched live, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, neither did I. Maybe over in the UK or something, but I didn't see it.
Maybe they're getting a different feed than we are.
Yeah, because they don't get to watch the Total Divas commercials.
Why not?
Because it's not being aired over there.
Missing out.
Okay, there you go. So, but yeah, what was the last Inferno match? Like MVP versus Kane? Wasn't that it? Something like that.
So.
Do y'all think that we might see an Inferno match return?
Only as a way to write him out. If they're going to write him off TV for a while.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a bad idea, I think.
Okay. So, who knows? We'll have to see. It would definitely be interesting to see because I've never seen an Inferno match live, so we'd have to see how that goes. Next up, we got to see the newly turned evil Layla.
We're not going to be there for the Inferno match. What are you talking about?
No, but like live on pay-per-view or something.
I was about to say it's warm.
Yeah, well, I bet it is. It would suck to be in the front row and be like,
I would want to be in the front row.
I can't see anything, and it's really hot.
I would want to be in the front
Inferno match was so like prohibitive. Like they just like it's almost like impossible for them to be good. They even suck when you're playing on WWE 13. Like
Yeah,
it's a
not that
sucky
fun.
stipulation.
Temperature's getting so hot.
Yeah, it's not that fun.
We're baking cookies. Special sauce.
Just like hit high spots to like bump the temperature, and then you push them into the.
It burns. Fire burns, always. So, next up we got to see the newly turned evil Layla going up against Caitlyn. The reason why she turned evil is because she wants attention. She's not on the Total Diva show, so pay attention to me.
Yay.
In my British accent. She used the British accent this time.
Oh, this time?
Yeah. So, it was, I don't know. The match was short. AJ came out for the distraction, and then Layla gets the victory over Caitlyn, and then Layla and AJ skip around the ring.
Before you know it, all the divas, except for Caitlyn, will be heels.
Caitlyn and Natalya are like the only faces as far as divas right now.
And JoJo.
Well, we haven't
JoJo
seen,
doesn't count.
Yeah, we haven't seen her on Raw or SmackDown.
But you can see her on Total Divas.
And where's Tamina Snuka?
Somewhere
out there. But yeah. Next up, we got to see Christian going up against Heath Slater.
Christian Slater.
Christian. There you go.
Hey, no bullshit. This was a pretty good match.
Yeah. I didn't like the fact that we came back from commercial and 3B is already in the ring. Christian's already in the ring and his music's playing. It's like, you couldn't give at least Christian an entrance?
No.
I guess not.
Heath should have got the entrance.
So, I actually didn't get to see all of this matchup. So you said it was
pretty good.
Pretty good. Not too bad. Christian's timing is just really good. It's really underappreciated. So,
I'll agree.
Okay. Next up, we got to see Curtis Axel going up against CM Punk. This one ended up in a no contest. Before the match even got started, Punk goes after Heyman, and then as the match continues, Paul Heyman decides to come back out, creates more distractions, and then he finally gets his hands on Paul Heyman, and then Brock Lesnar decides to come out, and the fight is on basically from there. And Punk, for the most part, was looking like he could hold his own, but I like the fact that JBL and then we're making the points like if he's down, you got to make sure you keep him down, because shortly after he was able to get back up and get more offense on Punk, using a chair on him and busting him open underneath his chin, required stitches for that. So, a lot of people were saying this was, this segment, the fight between Lesnar and Punk, was one of the highlights of the night. But Doug, what did you think about it?
Well, first of all, like to touch on the match itself, in my opinion, it makes Punk come way less off like a babyface and way more off like a bully. If he's gonna do Mr. Perfect spots to his son, like in a snarky manner, to like for whatever reason, I don't know how that endears himself as a babyface. But if you're gonna do Mr. Perfect spots, then and then not only is he gonna do a Mr. Perfect spot, but he's gonna make sure he's going to broadcast to everyone who doesn't know that he just did a Mr. Perfect spot, that he did one by spitting the gum and swatting at it. That makes you come off like a bully, and like, is in my opinion, that doesn't endear you to me. Who does that endear you to? You're using the guy's dad.
I can do better.
Just, I didn't like it. The match was like pretty decent. I think there was definitely some promise shown here in this match by Axel, but it really I was just sour over the Punk stuff. As far as the post match like beatdown, I know you're outnumbered, but if you're outnumbered and you're going to use a chair, you grab the chair first because that's when you're outnumbered. If you take a guy out and then it's a fair fight, you don't then grab the chair. Does that make sense to what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. If
you two are on me, then I'm gonna grab the chair now. But if I knock you out and then me and Tyler just have a fair fight, why do I need that's a dick move. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, when Tyler is like, a foot taller than you and has probably like 150 pounds on you,
then don't be a little bitch. You don't be a pro wrestler. Then. If you don't want a fair fight, then like, come on.
Okay.
Low blow.
But there you go.
I'm just saying, like, it makes, if he's outnumbered, grab the fucking chair. That's fine.
Find a chair.
Well, he didn't bring it with him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. But
I know.
I was making a sorry joke from days past.
Yeah,
I got the joke. I'm just saying. Like, that stuff like that bothers me. I guess no one else cares, but like, that kind of stuff really bothers me.
But that's why we like you, because you pay attention to the little details like that. So, not afraid to call people out on it.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. But backstage, we did get to see a little interview between Lesnar, Paul Heyman, Curtis Axel, and the reporter lady who I haven't learned her name yet. But anyways, I was too distracted from what Paul Heyman was saying about delivering a message to CM Punk. Now I remember that Paul Heyman's going to face CM Punk next week on Raw. But yeah, Brock Lesnar grabs the microphone and saying, "Oh, that's the best of the best of the best of the best of the best in the world. I'm the beast. I am and the best in the world. Now, Paul, say something stupid." And I don't know why. It was just I laughed at it. I thought it was funny, just because it's so. It's not really something you would really hear him say.
Yeah.
Say, hey, say something stupid, or I don't know, but whatever. But yeah, look forward for next week. CM Punk versus Paul Heyman.
Look forward to Paul Heyman next week. He says something stupid.
Yeah.
You liked it because it was awesome.
Huh?
Said you liked it because it was awesome.
It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm saying it was awesome. That's why people liked it, because Brock Lesnar did something awesome because he's awesome. Period.
Well, there you go.
You keep pausing like you wait for me to like to turn around and say I'm not. I'm saying
I got you.
No, I'm saying it's fucking awesome.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Nothing.
We agree most of the time. We disagree a few times this show, and you're like waiting for me to like turn and stab you in the back or something.
No, I don't think you're going to turn it. You're not going to turn it. We're not going to have heel Doug here, but
It was cool. I liked it.
Okay. Just didn't think you would say that about something Brock Lesnar said, as opposed to something he did. So shows what I know.
Well, he's not a great promo, but he kept it short.
Yeah.
Like, that's an awesome line. He's had a history since his return of like awesome lines, as long as he keeps it short.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Heyman's there for the rest of the time.
Yeah, to be the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, from awesome to, I don't know what Doug would call it, but Kofi Kingston returns. He finally returns from his long injury to go up against Fandango.
He had long tights.
Huh?
He had long tights.
Yeah. And it looked like Fandango's trying to grow some facial hair there. Put something to his character.
Look, let's just be honest here. The most interesting thing we're going to have to say about Fandango is going to come in the Total D this segment. So let's just go ahead and move right on.
Okay. So Kofi Kingston ends up defeating Fandango. And it seemed like at first the crowd was kind of hyped that he had returned, and then they just didn't care. Even the announce team whenever he made his appearance. They weren't like, oh, look who's back. Oh, my goodness. It was like Michael Cole going, he's back. There's Kofi Kingston. All right, let's enjoy this match.
Been gone that long. It's not like if Ray came back and they'd be like, oh, fuck, he's been gone forever.
Wasn't it like 6 months or something like that?
That couldn't have been 6 months.
He's been gone a while.
Yeah, but
A while.
I still don't think it's doesn't feel like he's been gone that long.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like he's been gone long enough.
I mean, hell, Justin Roberts gave Ricardo Rodriguez, after a month away from a serious injury. It wasn't an injury, though. I mean, he might have been hurting from going through the table, but that wasn't why he was gone. Anyways.
Me hating on Ricardo.
No, I love Ricardo. He's awesome. Next up, we got to see a backstage segment where Stephanie McMahon was upset that, the corporate makeover didn't go the way as planned, and Vince McMahon was unhappy, and Triple H is tired of Vince McMahon having his way, and, he's going to put a stop to it. So, I don't know.
Fakest fake cry ever.
And then he bit my head off is what he did. So, yeah. Next up, we got to see the Real Americans going up against the Usos. I didn't get to catch this matchup. So, Doug, how was it? It was
really pretty good. They had some cool spots. Like, I guess Cesaro's doing the leapfrog double stomp now, which is nasty. And, there was a cool spot where Swagger actually tosses an Uso at Cesaro, who was on the corner where he should be, ready for a tag, just in his own corner, and he gave him the uppercut like over the rope just from the corner.
Nice.
Fun stuff. Usos look good. Cesaro looked good.
So it sounds like Cesaro and Swagger are clicking as a tag team.
Yeah, I thought they did fine. Kind of weird seeing the Usos take the loss. I guess it was nefarious though. What was the finish? I know it wasn't like
Swagger
clean.
caused a distraction.
Yeah. Something happened.
Mr. Coulter. All you people in your cheese, put your hands over your heart. Say, we the people. He's getting some reaction from the people. They're saying we the people, whether it's in a mocking tone or not. At least they're getting something. So next up, we got to see Big E Langston going up against Dolph Ziggler. To be completely honest, I have no interest in seeing this matchup. But Big E did get the victory over Dolph. How about what are your thoughts, Doug?
Well, they've given it away for free on TV the past 2 weeks, so don't expect me to want to buy that at SummerSlam.
Okay. How about you, Tyler? Any thoughts on this Big E Langston Dolph Ziggler?
Just get past it and let Ziggler go his own way and Big E go his own way. So.
And then we got to see. Yeah, then we got to see the main event: Cena, Orton, and Daniel Bryan going up against the Shield. This one ended via disqualification, giving Cena, Orton, and Bryan the win. Doug, would you like to talk about the matchup?
It really wasn't that much of a match. It was mostly a way of setting up Orton hitting RKOs on both Bryan and Cena.
Yeah. It was short too.
Yeah, it was short. It wasn't much to speak of. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think it was enough of a match to even call it good. And like I said, it was just a way to get like Orton to RKO these two dudes. There was miscommunication with Bryan getting shoved into Orton, which knocked him off the apron, which is why he delivered an RKO. Him and Cena kind of fought off the Shield like side by side, and then Orton just did an RKO out of nowhere. Just because he could. So yeah.
And then he looked at Cena and looked at Bryan and looked at the referee and then looked at his briefcase and decided to get out of the ring and grab his briefcase and
then he RKO'd the referee. Then he RKO'd his briefcase.
He took, as slow as he talks, he walks that much slower because Shield had time to powder out up the ramp and come back down to stop him from cashing in before he walked to the timekeeper and back. They went up and down the ramp. So,
yeah, pretty ridiculous. So, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, this is going to be the only way that Orton can make a quick cash in is if he's already in the ring, but, he was getting ready to attempt to, and the Shield came in and he backed off, and then they gave a triple power bomb to Daniel Bryan.
I mean, they have to tease it, so I don't mind. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just weird. That's weird to see the way that they're involving so much stuff around Daniel Bryan and John Cena. But whatever. I hope, as much as we're having to put up with for this matchup, I hope the matchup delivers, which it should. So that's pretty much how we closed out Raw. We
only have 1 week left, right? After this week?
Yes. Yeah. Next week will be our predictions week for Raw, or for SummerSlam, I should say. So be on the lookout for that.
Card looks fucking awesome.
Should be fun. But now...
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug.
No wonder people call you fat on Twitter.
Shut up! I have to say, I feel like a real diva.
You are a grown-ass woman.
Guess what?
What?
I watched this week's episode.
Hey!
All right, well, I'm gonna let you. I'll let you lead off because
Okay, I'm not gonna do like you said earlier in the show. I'm not gonna go step by step. Okay, so there was 3 different stories for this episode, pretty much. Okay, let's see. They followed Eva Marie.
Yes.
She pretty much.
Well, they've said like Eva Marie, Ava Marie, and Ava Maria. So it's like one of those 4. We don't know.
redhead chick.
Just call her EM or something.
Yeah,
M.
I'm just gonna say Eve Maria. What? Well, okay, you know what I mean. Pretty much seeing Fandango, and she wants to become a dancer. I mean, his dancer. And she goes to the people in the back and just pretty much says, "Hey, I'm a ballroom dancer. I dance and do all this stuff." And no, she don't dance. She pretty much lied, all that stuff. And
Ooh, liar.
yeah. And
She was like saw it as her opportunity to bypass developmental and jump up on the main roster, and she just kind of flat out lied about having a dance background, which she didn't. And they kind of showed. They set up some weird stuff. Like, again, this is why we're going to call Total Divas Earth 2, because they kind of they make it seem they are like, okay, Fandango gets a different chick in every city when he's only had like 2.
yeah, that's weird.
So they kind of bend the reality to where it's like, okay, there was a reason for her to have a shot at this because he doesn't already have someone set. And so they have this weird meeting where she like talks to him, and he's like super over the top,
Oh
like
my
creepy
gosh.
guy.
Yeah.
He's like,
Hey, babe.
hey baby. He like kisses all the girls on the cheek and hugs them, and like they flash back to like the first time they quote unquote met, and he does the hand kiss but kissing his own hand, and it's like he's like,
Was he
super-
in character?
No.
Or...
This is gonna be his Total Divas character.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, Total Divas character. He was,
Earth 2, this is Earth 2 Fandango.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And yeah.
Well,
So-
okay. Before that, also, they showed in a hotel room where Eva Maria's boyfriend shows up out of nowhere,
Yes.
then proposes to her.
And they've only been dating for like 3 months, they say.
He's like, you know what? The first time I was with you,
He brought her
after 2
donuts. Don't
yeah.
forget the donuts.
And then with the donuts, the first place
They look like fancy donuts, but
yeah, it was
you go
Were
ahead.
they
Continue.
Krispy Kreme?
No, they were like a pink box, and they looked super fancy.
the first time we hung out after 2 hours. I knew that I want to be with you for the rest of my life.
Oh.
AKA, you're on the road with all these bodybuilder dudes, and you're gonna be getting your shit torn up if I don't put a ring on it.
Oh, my.
And then, okay, so going back to the Fandango thing, where
She has a business meeting with him.
yes, so the business meeting is pretty much going out.
They go to dinner, but she doesn't wear the ring.
Yeah, takes the ring off.
Scandal.
Yeah,
Scandalous.
she flirts with him.
No lie. She totally flirts with him, but then she gets in over her head and she's like, oh, he's laying it on thick. I'm feeling uncomfortable now. After she didn't wear her ring, her freshly proposed to like boyfriend who just left. They made it seem like so weird, like in short, where he just like flew in, here's some donuts, here's a ring, bye. And then she's like, I gotta go to my meeting with Fandango now.
It's pretty much, and then it's like at the end of that part, it shows that they're in the club and like,
Oh, he
she's
invites her
thinking-
with the guy. He's like, some of the guys are coming to the club tonight, but they show up to the club and it's just him and her.
yeah. And they're like, hey, we're going to ballroom dance. And she's like, no. But it's so funny because when at the part when they're in the club, like she says something and like he has this creepy smile. He's just like smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. And then
God.
Fade
so
out.
they get to a point eventually where they do dance. And
It's like a tryout with Jan and all the other divas like, oh, we got to watch this shit. So they're like, they all watch them walk out together and dance. And she's fucking awful. She can't dance.
And then the guy that she first talked to a while back, I don't know his name. It's
Like Jan's assistant.
Yeah, it's like, I thought you can dance. He goes, I'm not a professional dancer, but that was not good.
He's like, yeah.
And then Fandango's like, they're like, do you want to do it again? He's like, no.
We're not doing that again.
We're not doing that again.
They make
That was it.
They make it seem really weird, like Fandango has choices if he wants her or not, and not like they're just gonna tell him what girl he's dancing with.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. It's like again, Earth 2 WWE universe, and Trinity has the great line that if she's a dancer, then I'm a astronaut or something like that. It was hilarious.
And then it comes to the end part of her story where she talks with Stephanie McMahon, and pretty much like, Stephanie was like, I don't know you, but you pretty much embarrassed yourself, the company. Yeah, and all that. She goes, you're lucky that you're not fired because of that. And she was about to cry and all that stuff, and apparently just gave her another chance, and that was it. And she walked off. It was very short.
Yep.
So that was the end of Eva Marie. It was chopped up through the episode, but then
So one of the other stories was basically Bree and Dana Bryan are gonna go stay for like the night or the weekend or whatever with Cena and Nikki in Florida. Is it Tampa? Tampa. And they're gonna go check out how they live for a while for the weekend or whatever. So they go to Cena's baller ass mansion in Tampa, Florida, where he has like 800 cars and they're all like really fast, vroom vroom. One can go 200. And then they actually test it in 200, and she's like, "No, don't be going 200. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so mad at you." But they didn't go to it. I was
like, if you get pulled over, it's like, I'll just show him my tits.
yeah, she said, "What if you get pulled over?" She said, "I'll show him my tits." That's what she said. That's a quote.
The bells cracked me up with some of the things they said.
And so like they're swimming, and like Dana Bryan's walking around like, folk hero country boy, like in the big city for the first time ever, and he's like, "Oh,
Never been to these
this
places
this
ever."
is a really nice house," and like all the shit, and like they go in Cena's like closet, which is like bigger than the studio we're in. And he has like a smoke room and like all this, like a cigar room, whatever, and all this shit. And they're like, "Oh my god, this shit is crazy."
Okay, who's with Daniel Bryan?
Bree.
Okay, there was I will get to the end point when we go further in the
We're
story.
doing an excellent job of tag teaming this.
Y'all are doing a good job.
Okay,
Good back and forth.
This is the start of what I didn't like was. You said Bree, right?
Bree is with Bryan.
Okay,
Nikki
Bree,
is with
she was like,
Cena.
I'm not used to this. They talk about Daniel Bryan's home, and she loves it and all that stuff.
Well, you gotta
Is it
paint
a
the
log
picture.
cabin out in the middle of the
You gotta
woods?
paint the picture of Bryan's. Okay, so the flip side is they're going back to Aberdeen, Washington to spend the weekend in Bryan's house, which is his childhood home that he grew up in, out in Aberdeen, Washington.
It wasn't bad.
No, look, it wasn't a shitty house. It was a normal people house.
Yes.
Like,
yes,
it was just a normal people house, and it was totally fine. And they make a big deal about how it's raining all the time because it's in Washington.
But the thing I didn't like is that they first talked about how Bree liked it. Oh, I like that, the quiet thing. Then when they get over there, then Daniel Bryan is off for a little bit, and then
Chopping
like
wood.
we'll get to that
oh
point.
no, no.
We'll get to that point.
Say this part because I got something to say. It's super catty. Go.
About where
About how when Bryan's off and they're talking to
they're
her.
all talking, and John Cena was like, "Do you really want to live here? Do you like all this stuff?"
What the fuck happened to bro code right there? Because
Yeah, I
like
was
who
like-
is like okay, that's like okay. Let's try and figure out like how this would work because they're sisters. So okay, we're related. So it'd be like us two are dating two chicks, and it would be like if one of your chicks came to my chick, but they didn't know they weren't really friends, and they were like, "Are you really okay with like this dump?" Because I mean, essentially, because like, what place does she have to be saying that in the first place? Like, why would Cena be saying that? That's weird. Like,
I don't know. But then they also
It was super lame of
yeah,
him.
that was weird. And then they got to a point where that part it was like Bree was kind of medium. She's like, I do like it, but there's parts I don't. She was getting to the point where like I like this, but I don't.
Right.
And then that goes into the chopping wood contest, which was awesome.
Which is totally awesome.
I love this thing for so many reasons because it's the guys versus the girls, and if the girls win,
intimate massages
for a week, and then Bryan was
no,
like,
no, every
for a
week
month.
for a month.
He's like, for a month?
That's like 4 things.
Yeah. But it's so funny because the Bellas had, just stuff that just covered their boobs.
Well, they did that on purpose. For like, the only way we're gonna win is if we distract them. So they come out with basically just bras on and like super high heel shoes, although they do have jeans on. But like so they set a handicap where like one piece of wood for the Bellas is like the guys have to have like 3 or 4 or something for every piece that they have. And so basically, so the Bellas go and they do fine for themselves. They're chopping some shit and like whatever. And then, okay, so Cena's the first dude to go, right? And they just show him fucking shredding wood, like wham, like one hit, shit's flying everywhere. Like he might as well have chopped one whole tree in half. It's like split in half. They're putting this dude fucking over. Nikki's like, can I just say that I love that my boyfriend's the Terminator? And then like fucking wood is flying, fuck it, man. And like you're like, okay, they're gonna put Bryan over big because he's the guy who's actually cut wood before. He's the country boy, whatever. So he grabs. They're like, okay, go. Bryan like sheepishly walks up to a stomp, picks one up. It's like
cuts.
He doesn't even cut one.
Yeah.
He's just like hitting at this one big piece.
Brie was like, my man is like, he takes his life. He goes very slow.
Yeah, she's like he's like slow and pays attention to detail. So they totally fucking bury Bryan in the wood chopping contest, which he should have won. They buried his house and then they buried his fucking wood chopping skills, which is bullshit because in the ROH Newswire, I remember Bryan showing Grizzly Redwood how to chop wood. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Google it.
Yes.
Grizzly I can't talk. Grizzly Redwood is a fucking lumberjack and Bryan schooled him at chopping wood.
It's true.
Google that.
Also, Brie was like, I love my man because he looks like a lumberjack.
Yeah. But he can't fucking chop no wood like a lumberjack.
One thing I want to go back to the girls when they're chopping wood. One of them was chopping and she goes, I just hit my vagina.
She did. Speaking of vaginas, that's a great segue. That's a great segue into the Funkadactyl story. Is it not?
Yes, that is.
You lead off the funk
gosh.
because we traded right there.
Okay. So
they're not happy with their costumes.
They're not happy with their
The
costumes.
seamstress is whack and takes too long.
Okay, who's the other one? Not Naomi, but
Ariane.
Well,
Trinity is
Naomi,
and Ariane is the other one.
Okay, well, Ariane. She calls someone else to make their costume. Well, she takes it on herself.
She doesn't tell Trinity.
She doesn't.
Ooh.
So
they already had problems with like working together because last episode she was like, keep your man in check because we're married as a tag team. So they're already having some weird working relationships, even though they still love each other and get along. Sorry, I interjected.
They went to, after she ordered it, they went to go later on pick it up, or she did, and she put it on and she loved it and all that stuff. And then later on they give it to Naomi. I'm going to say Naomi Trinity. Well, okay. She didn't like it because it fits differently. She has a bigger ass. And then she goes, this doesn't fit my cookie. My cookies hang out. She says cookie.
They blur her crotch.
They blurred her crotch. They did.
Because her cookie was hanging up.
And then they go back and tell the lady who makes their costumes that she went behind her back and did that. And she didn't like that at all. So they went back to the older costumes, which Trinity liked, but the other
Ariane.
one. Yeah, she didn't like it, and then they just did their whole thing, and that was pretty much it.
Basically, they were in a bind and like they couldn't wear the suits that they needed because Trinity's cookie was hanging out.
Yeah,
so they had to go.
Hanging out.
They had to suck up to the old seamstress. They went behind their back to get new costumes made and have her alter other ones so they could have something to wear for that night.
Natalia was here and there. She really didn't have too
Basically
much.
nothing.
If you watch, you'll see certain people in the background too. And then JoJo was there for Eva Marie, and then a little bit with Naomi. And that was pretty much it. She didn't really have nothing.
Yep, pretty much.
No Natalia?
No Natalia.
Yeah.
Well, she was in the group of divas who were like, well, I got to see this shit whenever Eva Marie said she could dance or whatever.
Yeah.
But look, we're just going to shoot straight with you, improve your life, and watch Total Divas. Because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. I like that thing you said. That's Earth too. I like that.
So there you
Well,
go.
because they bend like stuff to make it make sense in the show, so it's like
Yeah,
a total
'cause
different reality.
I was like, what the fuck when they were doing that whole thing with the Bellas. Oh, let me go back for one thing with the Bellas. Sorry to go back, but at the end, they went to a park to talk about their life. Now, Brie is saying she don't like this at all.
Yeah.
She don't like living here. She don't
Basically,
like the house at
she
all.
got brainwashed by Cena and Nikki because she was
Pretty
totally
much.
happy about it.
And they kept on stepping in dog shit.
Geese shit.
Geese shit, sorry.
Well, there you go.
That
So
was
what,
it.
what do we have to look forward to for next week?
Oh, shit.
They showed us. They showed it like a spoiler reel, but I can't remember.
John, one of the Usos, is pissed off at Naomi
Oh,
because
he slams that fucking glass like
Yes,
wham.
because
John
What-
is
what he
Jimmy
said-
Uso.
yeah. Well, what did he say? That if you
It's like-
treat our relationship like your work, it would be a better relationship because they have to be they're dedicated to their work.
Yeah, yeah,
So if it was like that, the relationship would work. I think
something like that. I can't remember.
yeah,
He's probably mad because Funkadactyls get more TV time.
yeah.
Although that seems to be changing here lately
Yeah, I know.
because of this show. Do you guys feel like because of the show, the Usos are getting a shot and the Bellas? Well, obviously the Bellas getting airtime. Cena's obviously getting airtime. Daniel Bryan's worked his way into airtime,
Well,
but
I just saw something today. I didn't read it. I just read the headline about how they're getting like awesome ratings, and they're touting like the ratings are getting. I think what they're trying to do is reach a broader audience. They're,
Hey,
they're
people
looking
like
for a different
reality
demographic.
shows.
They're looking
There's
for a
a-
different demographic.
There's a lot of people who like reality shows out there,
And I
so
think
they're gonna eat
they-
this shit up.
I don't know how successfully this will pull from that demographic. I'm thinking your E demographic probably like they're probably looking to pull more women in because it's on the
Yeah.
E network. I mean, I'm not being sexist. That's just seems
what
to be
the
the
network is about.
that seems to be what the
That's a
target
good-
audience is.
Yeah.
Seems to be what the show is trying to bring in. And I don't know how successful it's going to be in pulling that audience in. I just know that it's a really fun show to watch.
Well,
So-
see, my problem with it is you said they're using their real names, their shoot names, but then if the people who
not all of them.
well, with the exception of Nikki and Brie, but for this show, for people who just found this show, like they've never watched wrestling before, if they're like, oh,
They
I
don't
actually
understand
wanna
that
check
that's
this
Earth
out.
2 and this is Earth
Yeah.
1.
So then they go and they switch over to Raw.
They watch
and
it. They're
see-
like John Cena and Daniel
They
Bryan.
do.
Or,
They do a surprisingly good enough job of explaining things to you. Like this is our stage names, and this is why, and this is what we do. They do a surprisingly good. They do an adequate job of explaining things to people that I would think so they would understand.
Okay.
I feel anyway. What do you feel that they do a good enough job of explaining why they have different names?
Like if
and
someone
stuff?
who's never watched wrestling before watches Total Divas and they're like, "Oh man, I
Yeah.
got to see this drama unfold."
they do.
on
They do.
on Raw, and they switch over to Raw, and they're like, "Well, they're calling him Jimmy, and they're calling him."
Well, they
know.
whenever they say like when they introduced John, they said Ariane says this is my boyfriend John, aka Jimmy Uso, and then they kind of do like a thing about like who he is, like
Yeah.
it's short, but it's like there, you know what I mean?
Well, did they say AKA Cameron and Naomi?
They did all that from the
Okay.
very first
Yeah.
episode. Yeah,
All right, just making sure. So
they don't do it every time, but they establish it. They say this is so and so, aka so and so, and this is what they do.
I'm just glad you two are having so much fun watching this show.
It's a blast.
Get into it. Come on.
He's secretly gonna watch next week. He's just not. He just doesn't want to like give us the satisfaction of
My
saying he
girlfriend's
watched.
watching it. Thank you very much.
That's why you should get into
Did
it.
we sell her on it, or did she just
I
pick it up
don't
on her own?
know. But she texted me while I was in Dallas and said, "So I kind of been watching Total Divas."
There is no
and
kind of commit.
She's
commit
she
to
said,
it.
Well, she explained what happened on this week's episode to me, and I was just like, so she's hooked into it. So
Look, I bet we're turning motherfuckers on to this shit.
Yes.
Like, relax and watch it. It's fun. It's a good show.
we'll see.
I'm worried about pay-per-view days because I don't want to have to
Yeah, especially with SummerSlam, 2 weeks away.
fucking up my rotation.
So there you go. Thank you. I'm glad that Tyler let Doug have the mic a little bit, and I'm sure Lewison appreciates that as well. So we do have some hot topics for you guys. The build up for TNA, if you guys didn't see it or don't follow TNA, they had a good week-long storyline where they had August 1 warning, and it's going to be a mystery person saying, "Oh, I'm not Chris Jericho, I'm not Goldberg. Most of these people don't even know who I am, blah, 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 blah." So I tuned in and watched Impact and, saw the great match between Chris Sabin and, what is it, Manic now? And
Yes,
then
Manic.
Who's Manic?
Suicide.
Suicide.
They
TJ
changed his
Barker.
name.
Does he still look the same?
Yep, exact same.
Oh, well, they pulled like parts of the where it said like suicide off.
That's so stupid. I'm not gonna get into it. It's just
And
stupid.
then, what was the other matchup that was really good?
What did you say?
Sabin and Manic. And there was one other. It
That
was
was okay.
Aries, I think.
He wrestled AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. I thought that was.
Can I say
Pretty good.
AJ Styles not a fucking striker? Stop throwing strike combinations. Just because you saw fucking everyone else doing it doesn't mean you can start doing it. I don't buy it. You're not a striker, dude. Come on.
But anyways, they had the big August 1 reveal, and apparently a lot of people were.
Oh, but speaking of that match though, when Aries does, when Aries.
You good?
When Aries does when he does like the tope suicida, he goes instead of between the second and the top, he goes between the second and the bottom. But when the way they have the ramp set up there, he fucking nailed the tope right into the steel steps. It was a sick
Yeah.
spot in that match. It was cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Other than that, I didn't
pretty
think it was as crazy good as everyone else thought it was. I thought it was okay.
Well, I thought it was a pretty good matchup, especially for that night. Those two matchups stuck out in my mind. But we did get the big August 1 warning reveal. A lot of people were speculating as to who it was going to be. Then, one name started flying out, and it ended up being correct that Tito Ortiz, MMA fighter, is now joined.
What's their deal with now getting MMA fighters? Like, this is the third one, huh?
The
in their
reason-
company?
King Mo, Rampage Jackson, and now Tito Ortiz. The main reason why they're
They're
doing
on
this,
Spike with
well, Bellator is the agreement, but Bellator is going to have a fight between Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson.
Jackson on TNA.
Action Jackson. Jackson. There you go. So,
On TNA, or are they
On
no,
Spike.
it's going to be Bellator. So, a lot of people were disappointed in this. A lot of wrestlers took to Twitter saying, this is taking the focus off of TNA. It's doing nothing for them. It's promoting Bellator by bringing these guys over. Dixie made a comment, "Oh, this is going to make headlines. People are going to be talking about this." Yeah, they are, but if you go over to the Bellator Facebook page, not one comment was like, "Oh, did you see who appeared on Impact Wrestling?"
I see what they're trying to do, though.
Yeah, they're trying to say, "Oh, did you see who was on Impact?" And it didn't pay off. I get that they're trying to reach out to a wider audience, but I felt like this really fell flat. It's not helping TNA. It's more going to hurt them because it's going to cause this audience to go and say,
Tito, then
"Well, let's watch Ortiz and Rampage fight," and
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like I can get people saying like it's not going to do anything for them business wise, but I mean, I get that, right? But like they're trying to do something. They realize they have to do something, and like in my opinion, like I don't understand why there's not more of a crossover audience between MMA and pro wrestling. I think there's a potential for huge.
It's
but
because there's always this smart aleck people
feel
who are
like-
"Oh, wrestling's fake."
I feel like there's a lot of wrestler fans that like MMA, but not MMAs that like wrestling.
MMA in the States is built on the back of pro wrestling fans. Like people hop to UFC when they got tired of like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So there is that crossover there that I believe. Like,
It's there, but people are just reluctant.
yeah, like I can see like people saying shit like how this doesn't necessarily do anything for them, but I guess I have sympathy just because they're trying, and because to me, if you're going to cross over with another product, I think MMA makes infinitely more sense than most things chosen by
Football or
yeah.
movies.
And Ortiz was already there before in the past. He was Enforcer before, and if you're going to cross over with another product, give me MMA dudes all day. I get people saying that it fell flat, but Ortiz is a big personality. Rampage Jackson is a big personality. King Mo's a big personality. I mean, you can argue, did it play out well, which I obviously would concede that it didn't. But I don't necessarily fault them for trying. I think there are much worse things they could be doing. I mean, yeah, I guess they should have worked the deal with Bellator to where they had their fight on fucking Impact or something.
I guess it's better to have them than was it Pac-Man Jones?
Yeah, see Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson and King Mo make infinitely more fucking sense to me than Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
Infinitely more. Like I love giving me combat sports crossovers all fucking day. Money Mayweather, when he had his match with Big Show, fucking loved it. That shit was great. I loved it. I don't know. I definitely didn't hate this as much as everyone else did. I don't know.
I think it was just because they were hoping that it was going to be a well-known wrestler, coming to.
They know better.
Impact. Yeah, it's just you get your hopes up.
Temper your expectations.
There are so many people who just want to see TNA succeed, and then they get their hopes up, and then they're just let down. So, oh well. But yeah. So Tito Ortiz is the August 1 reveal. And for those who did not hear, Kurt Angle after that night was arrested for driving while intoxicated. And
what the fuck was that?
What
was that noise?
Oh, that was that was Tyler's microphone stand or arm, whatever it's called. But so Kurt Angle has decided to enter a rehab program to take care of that, and certainly hope the best for him. I hope he can
the house of DDP.
Yeah, so I hope he can get that taken care of and battle those demons, because you don't want to see anyone get hurt under any circumstances.
Yeah.
So best of luck to Kurt Angle for that. For those who were watching during Raw and keeping up with what's going on the internet, apparently there was a death hoax that had surfaced. Disco Inferno was reported to have been found dead and unconscious and declared dead in a Las Vegas hospital, but that was shortly disproved thereafter.
There's
probably
tons of death hoax.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, tons of John Cena's, and even Johnny Depp gets them all the time. But yeah, so Disco Inferno, death hoax, proved otherwise. Just stupid. Just something to get people buzzing. But we do have some WWE 2K14 news for you. JBL announces he will be a playable character in the game. So look forward to that. The clothesline from hell. So that's pretty much it for the hot topics. For those who are looking for any upcoming events this weekend, Booker T's ROW going to be taking place in Clear Lake. I can't talk.
Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson.
Aver is busting your balls today.
So there you go. Go check them out. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it, but go out and support them. Tell them we sent you. And also get ready for Labor Day weekend. Clutch City Productions are going to be offering sort of a meet and greet with NWO members, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, X-Pac, Six-Pac, whatever you want to call them. Recently announced Scott Norton, the Disciple, a.k.a. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. There's also going to be Tito Santana, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Robbie E., and Miss Tessmacher, all going to be out there. So go to clutchcityproductions.com for all the information on that and how you can score some VIP passes. Go check out their Facebook page. Tell them we sent you. I'm sure they would definitely appreciate that. And we're gonna be working with these guys in the near future to further promote their stuff. So maybe we'll have a special interview or two as we lead up to that. But now it's time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question comes to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Second time tonight. Saying, hey, guys, I don't know how much you follow TNA, but what do you think about the Aces and Eights versus Main Event Mafia 5-on-5 match for Hardcore Justice, where the person who cost his team the match will be forced to leave TNA? P.S. Hell yeah, the Big Bang Theory sucks.
TNA, never heard of it. Next. No, I'm just kidding. I would assume that this is a nice cover and a way to make a big deal out of cutting another guy from the roster, as they have been doing recently.
Yeah.
And I would assume it's probably going to be an Aces and Eights dude.
Yeah. They like to do stuff like that. What was that?
'Cause
that Feast or Fired shit.
It's gonna
too?
be Sting.
It's not gonna be Sting. It's not gonna be Angle. It's not gonna be Joe. It's not gonna be Brutus, and it's not gonna be a Rampage. It's gonna be an Aces and Eights, dude.
Okay,
Kennedy,
who's left
Anderson,
on the
I mean-
team? Who's left on the team? Ace and Eights. You got
Devon.
Bubba, Devon.
Well, Bubba's
Kennedy.
got his own priorities. He's not gonna be in that match.
Okay, so Devon,
Kennedy
Kennedy,
or Anderson. I'm sorry.
Anderson,
Bischoff.
Bischoff. Doc got released. Huh?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone. Briscoe.
Briscoe.
Gunner.
No, Gunner is tagging with James Storm.
Nooks.
Is he still, yeah.
Mike Knox.
Well, there you go. So one of those guys getting gone.
Probably
So-
Nooks.
One of them. Yeah. Who knows? But I guess we'll just have to see where
It's gonna be
goes from
Cookie.
there. My cookie.
My cookie's hanging out. Blurred.
So,
Okay, we're gonna find a picture of that and post it on our page. If anyone has that picture of the blurred cookie,
I'll Google it.
it was yellow.
Someone will go and take
I'll
a screenshot
make
of it.
Google blurred cookie.
There was nothing there.
Total Divas blurred cookie.
I'm gonna say, listen, I laughed so many times at this week's episode. It's not even funny.
I hit my vagina. Don't worry, I'll just show my tits.
There you go. Next final question coming to us from Jonathan Red Robin,
Yum.
saying, "Hey guys,
Yum.
this is a follow up question to my last
Yum.
one. How do you guys feel about the next Man of Steel being Superman versus Batman? I'm excited about it, but worried how it will be written. Thanks again, and have a good show."
Oh, dude, I googled blurred cookie, and you get a bunch of cookie stuff as you would suspect, but you get this one like kid with an Oreo who's also breastfeeding on a naked breast.
Wow,
It's a legit Oreo ad. It has it in the corner. Look.
milk and cookies, right?
Wow.
That makes sense.
Wow.
God,
No, that
is
is
the show
neat to see
become?
because I know that they make animated movies, Batman and Superman stuff, but
have they
I
said
think
it's
it's
going to
we-
be Superman versus Batman?
I don't know which way.
Because I
They
know they
should do
did.
Batman versus Superman because alphabetical order.
Oh, you
So
guys
do
don't. You
this.
guys apparently have not read enough comics to be familiar with the tropes. They will meet up under a mild misunderstanding, which will force them to combat with each other until they realize that hey,
They're not
each other are
enemies.
not. They're not each other's enemy, and then they're gonna team
I
up.
just think it's weird though to that
Thank you,
be
Doug.
the movie. If I don't know, they haven't cleared that up, but that will be the movie to restart the Batman franchise. I think that's weird, in my opinion.
It'll be weird. It will be weird.
I mean, it's cool if you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy the animated movies and all that shit, but I don't know. It's just, I think that part is weird to me.
okay.
He's laughing.
What's going on?
You
Doug?
looking at another kid sucking a boob with a
No, I'm not.
Oreo.
No, I'm not.
Why are you looking at a little kid sucking on a boob?
I'm not. That wasn't even. It's not like I googled kids sucking on a boob. I'm trying to get the thing.
The thing?
Oh my
The thing?
You looking for a cookie? Looking for
Looking
Naomi's
a
cookie?
blurred cookie.
I got it.
That's what he's
It
looking
was
for.
blurred out. This pretty much blurred her shorts. That's
Can we
all.
name this episode like episode 135 blurred cookie or something?
Yes.
Sure, why not? We'll do that. So
And oh my god, we need the picture to be this one of the blurred cookie.
Yes.
no, I'm not gonna do that.
Do it.
Yes, no,
Sorry.
dude, look,
Do
look,
it.
look, look,
Do it.
look.
Yes, do it. He got it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, see? You see it?
Uh,
That's going to be the picture.
send that picture to Ben and tell him to use that one.
I got to say, I'm sorry, Red Robin. I know we're going over your question with this, but and I answered it.
I ain't so sorry about it.
I'm looking forward to it, but we'll have to
Yeah,
see.
I mean, like, if the little kid in you isn't excited to see Batman and Superman in a movie, then you're dead inside.
So there you go. Thanks,
Cookie.
thanks for the question. To submit your questions, head on over to our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. You can also check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, and Wrestling News Source Podcast on iTunes. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. We would certainly appreciate it. And we would feature it on the show as well.
Hey, also, you see that picture of our belts? You like those?
Mm.
Why don't you?
I like those.
Huh?
Where'd you get them? They're sweet.
They're fancy.
Asteroid Belt Company.
Yeah.
Eric
.com.
does some good stuff over there, so check his stuff out, man. I love my belt. I know those guys love their belts.
Yeah.
I wear it around the house.
Sexy.
Did I just say that? I did.
He wears
So
it.
go check that out.
He wears his belt. Only his belt.
Check out our
Good.
other friend, John David Guerra from Nightmare Pro Wrestling. Check out his stuff.
Which we've been saying Guerrera for like 3
Yeah.
years, and we're sorry.
We're fixing it. We're working
fixing
on
it. You should have told us we're dumbasses. Before.
Yeah, we are. Sorry
Stop
about
calling
that,
me
bro.
that, you fucking idiots.
Yeah,
Guerra,
Guerra.
not Guerrera.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
My
about
bad.
That.
So
Sorry,
there you
man. I love you.
Oh. That's
Groove is
sweet.
in the heart.
If people want to follow us on Twitter, is at WNS Podcast, and for the main site, WN Source.
Hey, do yourself a favor. Watch Total Divas. Do us a favor.
See the blurred cookie.
Do us a favor and give us a rating on iTunes and on Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Doing that,
Stitcher.
that annoys me every time you do that.
He
Oh.
cringes.
Ugh, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Stitcher.
Why do you even do that?
Because it's fun. I enjoy it.
Hey, whenever we were walking in, Jazzy had In Living Color on the TV for his little girl.
Yes.
It was awesome. Like, is that fucking In Living Color? Yeah, it is.
By the way, also Tyler got to go and enjoy Space City Con. I remembered it as we were going through Raw, and I was like, "Oh, we didn't get to
Okay,
talk
this is a
about
bonus
that."
story.
So this is a bonus story for those who are still sticking through. 'Cause normally we would have cut it off by now.
So I wasn't in a good mood. The only time
You think
I was
people
in a
always
good
listen to the end?
Not all of them,
Not
but
always.
some of them will.
mood. Yeah.
By God.
So the only
Let's
time
have a secret password just to post on our page.
And it's not blurred cookies. That one's too obvious.
If you're still listening, you should post.
I'm gonna show.
Ah, fuck it, never mind. Just tell your story.
So okay, the only time I wasn't in the bad mood is when like we went to go find John and I talked to him. And that was cool, but like I was just in the mood the whole day, and I was broke. I mean, I'm still broke. So my friends had to pay for everything, and I felt bad about that. So my friend went to go see, get an autograph from Jewel State, one of the people from Firefly. So me and my other friend went to go sit in some room that they were having. There's some weird Klingons telling jokes. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but it was so awkward. It didn't make sense, and everybody around me was laughing. And
Did you think it was like really dumb? Like whenever I'm sitting on Facebook and like I see all these posts about football and Doctor Who, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, you're all idiots.
Oh man, football.
People are like,
'cause
yeah, new Doctor, yeah, football's
about to
back.
say
I'm like,
football
fuck
'cause
you, assholes. I don't care.
you making fun of both of us because he
Pretty-
likes football.
pretty
I
much,
like Doctor
pretty
Who.
much, pretty
Okay,
much.
I got you. I got
Whatever,
you.
man. I don't care. I'm
So
glad
okay,
football's back.
after they get off stage, then we're preparing for Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger.
And White Ranger.
White
And Red
Ranger.
Ranger. And Red Ranger. And Black Ranger.
One of the guys that work there comes in there and is like, sorry, if you're not VIP, if you don't get the VIP package or whatever, you can't be in here. You have to get to the back of the line. There's about 200 people waiting in line. I was like, fuck that. So we just left. That
That's
pissed me off.
ridiculous.
So I didn't get to see there was another doctor there, the seventh doctor, Sylvester McCoy. So I didn't get to see him. I didn't want to wait in line. I got pissed off. Doug's doing a jacking off motion. And then we were walking through the hallway. There's tons of people. So, look, okay.
Tons of fun.
People are going to stop in front of you. You can't stop that shit. And then someone stopped in front of us, and the guy behind us was just pissed off, and he was just saying shit. And he was like, pull that sonic screwdriver out of your ass and get moving, bitch. He did not say that.
That would have been funny, though.
So he goes, please don't stop. And he walked right past me, and I go, hey, can you please suck my dick? And he looked at me, he turned around, then he just walked
Oh,
off.
was that the exact delivery that you gave?
I did say, I was like, why don't you please suck my dick? Like that.
There you go.
So he looked at me and then walked off. So I was just angry. But I did leave Comic-Con with my Comic-Con soap.
Space City Con?
Shit. Space City Con soap. That they had on the
Space City
table.
Con soap?
Yeah, I left in Sushan's car.
Oh.
That's pretty much it. It wasn't that big of a story, but I was just grumpy.
You
I was
left it
grumpy.
in his brand new car.
Yeah, it's Honda Civic. It's gonna melt in there.
His brand new car is gonna melt in there.
Sorry, Sushan. You don't listen to the show.
He doesn't. That's a shame.
So it wasn't that big of a deal.
None of
but
our
I was
friends
just grumpy.
listen to this.
Yeah, Noah doesn't. Sushan doesn't.
Why did we give them shirts?
So they can support us without listening to us.
Well, there you go.
Like they wanted shirts, but then I came and fucking check in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Although Noah did post on our Facebook page about the Undertaker special edition version of WWE
Actually, Noah
2K14.
excitedly texts me whenever he wears our shirt in public. Like at work, he's like, "Look, I'm wearing my shirt at work," and I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool." You know?
that one time.
Well, I think they only get like casual day, like every once in a while.
Well, there you go. I get casual day every day.
Oh yeah.
Where would I
so he
walk?
goes naked.
Yeah. That's a little bit too casual, but there you go. So, sorry for the rough time there, Tyler.
Is what it is.
Yeah. So for the podcast crew, I am Dane O'Haron.
I'm Tyler Aber.
I'm still Jenny from the block.
Did you want to give a special code word at the end? You can say it as I say, and we'll see you all next week.
Okay, wait. Let me think of one. I'm not saying tits, Tyler. Don't be such a misogynist.
Try and keep it PG. Wood cutting? Grizzly lumberjack.
No, it's Grizzly Redwood, first of all.
Well, I was just saying for, a passcode.
Now let's just end it.
All right. And we'll catch you all next week.
Bye.